Your window to the world.
I'm crazy.
Her phone's with me, Ma.
Calm down.
Nollywood. Nigeria's film industry has generated several billions of dollars for the Nigerian economy and forms one of the largest and highest employers of labor in the country. But there is a serious cancer that plagues the industry: piracy.
The major functions of Nigerian Copyright Commission is to enforce the copyright law. And that enforcement means, well, part of the enforcement really means trying to stop any criminal violations of copyright. Basically, the law charged us to arrest, investigate, prosecute any criminal violation, any person who has criminally violated copyright. That is to say, people that, for example, reproduce works protected by copyright, people that distribute those illegal products produced work, people that import those illegal produced works. So if you then put a work on the web and and they then allow people to download it and you don't have right to do that, it's as much a crime as somebody who produces a CD and sells out there in the market.
The industry produces hundreds of thousands of films yearly, one of the highest outputs in the world. However, a lot of income is lost to piracy in the industry, with pirated copies of films getting to the streets for a small fraction of the price just hours after release.
Because of this new trend, the Commission does sometimes like they set up what we call the Online Copyright Inspectors Unit. So this team try to solve the web, try to identify websites where illegal works are hosted without authorization, try to track down where links that allow people to download movies, films online, try to carry out investigation, try to find the registrant, those who are behind this, try to make an arrest of this act. And indeed do what we call disruptive actions, because there are times you may not be able to find the person behind the website. He can as well be outside the country. So we try to disrupt those websites.
Although Nigerian laws prohibit piracy and copyright infringements, it is nonetheless an illegal thriving business thanks to a combination of inadequate copyright enforcement, a near total lack of prosecution, and corruption in the system generally. In fact, many Nigerians now believe that copyright laws are not enforceable.
The law says all criminal prosecutions are regarded as criminal prosecution. If you must succeed in prosecuting a crime in Nigeria, you must prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. And if you are unable to prove your case beyond reasonable doubt, then that is a problem.
The Nigerian Copyright Commission is attempting to rework the legislation that governs how artists, including filmmakers, are compensated for their work and intellectual property. Apart from adequate legislation that will lead to meaningful compensation for copyrights, deliberate and continuous enforcement of copyright laws must be seen to be sustained to reverse the high rate of theft of intellectual properties, which is crippling the Nigerian film industry.
His craft.
You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTA. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
What limits you? found you? No one. Where can you go? Everywhere. With unlimited super-fast internet access, free Intel to Intel calls, and crystal clear quality conversations, you can do and be whatever you want to be. Intel. Live more.
Hello, it's nice to have you join us on Nationwide. I'm Ayo Deji Makinde. Please remember that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. Economists at a conference in Abuja are suggesting fuel subsidy removal and minimizing the cost of governance as measures government must consider in achieving the projected GDP growth strategy in the 2022-2025 plan. Musa Abubakar reports.
Nigerians have continued to have their say on addressing the challenges affecting the economy. At this conference, achieving the target of the 2022-2025 medium-term expenditure framework is high on the agenda, and chartered economists are particular about exploring alternative sources of revenue, developing local manufacturing, and entrenching fiscal discipline as some of the solutions needed to strengthen the Nigerian economy.
Technically, the major problem in Nigeria increasing debt is revenue shortage. The country, though endowed with vast resources and potential, still struggles with good revenue base.
People with skill, people with professionals. We need the economists proper to guide the government.
We should get the best of our brains to be presenting papers to the National Assembly for policy making.
The forum called for deployment of the needed economic know-how and technology to turn ideas into action that can turn the fortunes of the country. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Efforts of the federal government to bring sustainable development to the grassroots seem to be stalled by activities of some political actors. This is the position of the leadership of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, NOLGE, which describes as insensitive the approach of some state governors towards the implementation of local government financial autonomy. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Local governments are created to bring government closer to the people and enable sustainable grassroots development. In Nigeria, the local government reform of 1976 is expected to accelerate development and enable the local population participate and hold those in power accountable in an event of misappropriation of funds. However, these circumstances seem to be facing challenges in the present dispensation of local government administration in Nigeria, as most state governors have refused to allow local governments have their financial autonomy.
If there is local government autonomy, I think this insecurity issue will not be there. Local government find it difficult to do anything. It's a very pathetic situation. If you go to the local government councils, you will not believe that those are called government offices.
And condemn the deliberate attempt to balance the implementation of Freedom Way Act by various state governments.
In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Moving on to electoral matters, the legislative election of the Republic of Senegal has commenced with a high turnout of voters. Haman Jabani reports that the casting of the legislative ballot has witnessed a high participation of women.
50-year-old Sigambagu is one of the first voters to be at the polling unit as early as 7 a.m. local time to participate in the exercise that is to commence at 8 a.m. He told me that it is a rare opportunity to elect members of the National Assembly, and this is the only way to participate in governance. All stakeholders should do their work so that we will have a peaceful election. I'm happy to vote, and I pray for peace to reign in Senegal that will bring development and youths will have jobs.
I think it's a duty that every Senegalese should fulfill. So far, it has been cool.
The ECOWAS Observer team, led by the former president of ECOWAS Commission and former Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, while monitoring the election in some polling units, interacted with the electorate, election observers, and other stakeholders. He sums up his impression at this stage of the election.
We noticed that all the voting materials was in place, the officials also, as well as the representatives of the candidates. So far, I think people are proceeding peacefully in an orderly manner, and we are quite satisfied with what we have seen. Women are participating very actively, and in fact there is one polling station where all the voters are women, and we encourage them, and we notice that women are very active. Many of them are head of polling stations, so I think the gender is respected.
The likes of Siga and other millions of Senegalese, the election will be free and fair, and commended ECOWAS for its role towards achieving that. The 15,500 polling units are open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time. From Dakar, Haman Jabani, NTA News.
With few hours to the closure of the ongoing continuous voters registration exercise, the Independent National Electoral Commission has registered more than 10 million eligible voters during the exercise in the country. The National Commissioner in charge of Kaduna, Nasarawa, Plateau and Federal Capital Territory, Muhammad Haruna, said this while supervising continuous voter registration exercise in Kaduna. Adamu Sunday reports.
The continuous voter registration exercise is ending today as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Large turnout of people to obtain their permanent voter card before the expiration of the exercise is an indication that more eligible voters are becoming aware of their voting power. People with special needs are part of this number.
We have been given special attention. They don't put us in the line, and anyway, anytime we come with people, they try to help them. So on that side, I can say they have tried.
Hectic, but then we thank God. A lot of people are hard here trying to get registered, but the thing is moving smoothly, and we're finding it very interesting.
No, I'm needing to join it now. They don't give me number. I will enter now.
So far, out of the figure announced by the Commission, Kaduna State registered more than 300,000 people.
I'm quite happy with the way things have gone. Of course, we had fears that there will be, congestion, but somehow, of course, the congestion came, but what is important is the way we've been able to meet the challenges that have arisen from there. We've been able to control the crowd, as you can see from here, which is the head office. things have been very, very orderly, and I'm very happy about that.
The exercise is expected to wind up by 12 midnight. Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
Elsewhere, ongoing voter registration centers in the FCT have continued to witness large turnout of prospective registrants even in the face of the 31st July deadline. A former Ojinta who visited some centers for an update reports that residents are appealing for another extension.
Residents are determined to ensure they exercise their franchise come 2023. They have defied the rains, the cold weather to ensure they beat the InEC 31st July deadline for the suspension of the continuous voter registration exercise. We are here at the Diplomat Park, one of the largest registration center with about 10 IVED machines, but the crowd is unprecedented.
We don't have machines here. There are not enough officers, so we are finding it difficult. We have been here since early morning, since 4 o'clock.
Facilities are not enough, so that this region we will be able to meet our target. There is need for the government to extend this region, even if it is 1 month, please.
Now, in all centers visited, it's been one complaint or the other.
The process is moving smoothly, but the system is slow.
Some people will come in from nowhere with their numbers and all of that. So the thing is just upside down.
I think there's a space constraints as well, because people here are here for different things and we all seem to be choked. That could have helped if you had it defined.
The question now is, will there be an extension? Will InEC be able to accommodate or cover the crowd at registration centers before deadline? Only time will tell. It's been Ifoma Ojinta, NTA News.
And in a swift reaction, the Independent National Electoral Commission, InEC, has dismissed the possibility of further extension of continuous voter registration nationwide as the exercise is billed to end today, July 31st, 2022. InEC National Commissioner supervising the exercise in Cross River, Akwa Ibom and Edo State, Professor Rhoda Gomez, said this while supervising the exercise at registration centers in Calabar, urging those who are yet to register to take advantage of the short time in order to get their cards ready for the 2023 general elections. Odwak Etam reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had earlier given 30th of June 2022 as deadline for continuous voter registration, after which it extended to accommodate more eligible voters nationwide from 1st July and to end on the 31st July 2022. Countdown to the end of the CVR exercise, large number of people are coming out for registration in Cross River State, as witnessed at various registration centers within the state capital.
Since we are coming out and we are seeing that maybe the process isn't going smooth like we expected, I think the date should be extended a little bit. I think even 1 week or so.
Still call for Nigerians to come out and register, because most people are feeling reluctant to register and they like doing things late. It's not about getting your voter's card. It's about voting your conscience.
In a bid to ensure smooth operations by the Commission, INEC National Commissioner supervising voters' registration in Cross River, Akwa Ibom and Edo State visited CVR centers in Calabar to appraise the situation of the exercise.
If at the end of July 31st and you have not been able to register, that is not the end. Yeah. I know that after the election, because we have logistics to take care of, we cannot continue to extend and extend. After registering, we'll print and then people had to come and collect the voters' card.
For those who will not meet the deadline, INEC says the registration exercise will continue after 2023 general elections. In Calabar, Udwak Etam, NTA News.
And as the race for the registration of permanent voter cards continues, the Independent National Electoral Commission is giving assurance that everyone will be registered before the deadline. says InEC Commissioner in charge of Ondo, Ogun and Osun States, Professor Adekunle Ajayi, who monitored the exercise in Akure South, Akure North and Ifedore local government areas of Ondo State. Olushola Komalafe reports.
It is few hours to the July 31st, 2022 deadline for the continuous voters registration exercise, and residents of Akure and environs are still trooping out in their numbers to register.
There are many ways which I have been to so that my voters card have been asked for. So today now, as I come to this place, I should register, and as I register my voters card, I'm happy that anywhere I get to with my voters card.
InEC officials have been cooperative. They've been attending to every single person that has been coming to their office for one issue or the other, and they've all been able to get their registrations done.
The InEC monitoring team expressed satisfaction on the massive turnout of residents.
We are going to attend to everybody. We are having 4 machines here, and all the 4 machines are working effectively well. There is nothing like internet failure or no network. Everything is working on well, and we are going to register minimum 400 people every day. We are going to work on Sunday, even the 12 midnight Sunday, until the last person on the queue is registered. We will not leave.
Now that collection of permanent voters card will continue till next year, 2023. In Akure, Olushola Komalafe, NTA News.
Elsewhere, as Nigerians warm up for the 2023 general elections, civil society groups are yearning for attitudinal change amongst Nigerians to drive good governance for national development. Elizabeth Omorui reports.
Youth are seen as the foundation of any society. This is because of their resourcefulness, character, and orientation, which define the pace of development and security of the nation. To this end, civil society groups like the Progressive Movement for a Better Nigeria is equipping youth with requisite knowledge to help harness their potential for national development.
So the role we have to play is as parents to see how we can help our children, learn good ethics, moral values. We already have them, only that is eluding us.
Presentations hinged on reorientation, respect for cultures and religion, as well as tolerance to drive better societies.
When you have a right attitude, that is when you can be able to impact your immediate environment and the society at large. We, as a youth, we can do this. Let us start and make a possible change. That change we want to see.
As the 2023 general elections draw near, they urged the youth to shun electoral violence, thuggery, and remain focused in their quest for a better Nigeria. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Next is our Lagos Network Center, and Hingino is our guide. Good evening, Hingino.
Good evening, Ayodeji, and welcome to Lagos. InEC office and approved centers in Lagos recorded a large turnout of eligible voters on the expiration of the deadline for PVC registration. Annie Daniels, who went round town to monitor the exercise, reports that a cross-section of Nigerians expressed optimism about not being disenfranchised before the 2023 general elections.
Like in other centers, gaining access into the Lagos InEC office wouldn't have been possible without the intervention of few security men on ground.
We are the volunteer team that volunteered ourselves to help the InEC to ensure that things works out. There are people who slept here, people wrote names since 3 a.m., 1 a.m.
The process has been fine, because they have a lot of rooms that they are taking people to register.
Some InEC staff who declined speaking on camera said the crowd is as a result of eligible registrants who were brought from as far as Ojo, Badagry and environs as early as 3 o'clock this morning in a bus to the InEC office here in Yaba for registration.
We were told that registering here, you have the right to choose a location where you can vote.
So I don't think it's like before that you can't register. Where you register is where you vote.
We've done 229 fresh registration this morning. So after this one now, they now give me a fresh list of 200, as you can see, 185 again, which will start. And this is another additional one. So it was like this yesterday. It's been like this for the past 2 weeks.
It's better they should still liaise with the government to see whether they will extend it more, because without that they cannot be able to meet up.
Although the exercise is seamless, there is however doubt from both the InEC staff and registrants the possibility of getting everybody here and even in other centers registered today. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Away from election matters now, 11 Nigerian students from 8 schools who emerged top in the world in June and November 2021 Cambridge examination have again proven that the country's education sector can compete favorably in the global education space. Lynn Leneke, who attended the 4th annual British Council Recognition and Outstanding Cambridge Learners Award, reports that the students were awarded for outstanding performances in single subjects.
That tone indicates that Nigerians are soaring high in making their country proud after the success story in the sporting sector, with a Nigerian beating the record in 100 meters hurdles. These Nigerian students have followed suit in that doggedness by emerging tops in various categories in the 2021 Cambridge examination series.
Well, math has always been one of my favorite subjects, so it always came very easily to me. But I worked really hard in doing past papers.
Exam, it taught me to read, to understand, to read, to internalize what I read. So I guess that helped me as well.
High Achievement Awards were presented to students who came top in Nigeria for single subjects. Special recognition awards were also presented to schools that won environmental project as well.
Being top in the world, being top in Nigeria, students and their parents are happy that our qualifications, our exams are working.
Not just achieving top results in Nigeria, but some of these students achieved top results worldwide.
Stakeholders from the educational sector are optimistic that such collaboration is capable of bridging the gap in the educational sector globally.
Importance of academic rigor. It shows that our children can do well, comparing them to anybody across the whole world. So I think it's a testament to our education sector, and I think it's good. Yes.
21st century skills, critical thinking, team building, leadership, communication, analytical thinking, really important in the world of work. Softer skills to help young people thrive in their futures.
The British Council in Nigeria has over time developed and sustained partnerships based on mutuality. In Lagos, Lynn Leneke, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for a break. The news will be back with Gabriela in Port Harcourt.
Broadcasting Commission has observed with concern the misuse of the airwaves to propagate incendiary materials by different groups in some broadcasting stations in recent times. While appreciating the need for educating, informing and enlightening the public on issues bordering on our national development, the Commission wishes to seize this opportunity to advise broadcasters to be circumspect in the handling of news and current affairs programs by exhibiting the necessary professionalism. Consequently, the Commission implores broadcasters to advise guests and/or analysts on their platforms not to polarize the citizenry with divisive rhetorics in driving home their points. Ensure that every news and current affairs program conforms with the provision of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code. Take their social responsibility requirements seriously. Therefore, the Commission reminds broadcasters to be guided by the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code, especially the underlisted sections 5.3.3b. The broadcasters shall, in using political materials for news and current affairs programs, avoid hate speech, inflammatory, derogatory, and divisive remarks or allusions. 5.4.1f. The broadcaster shall not transmit divisive material that may threaten or compromise the indivisibility and indissolubility of Nigeria as a sovereign state. 5.5.6. The broadcaster shall have a delay mechanism to guard against possible undesirable content. Please note that every broadcast station is responsible for the content it transmits and shall be held liable for any content in violation of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code. Be advised. Signed, Malam Balarebe Shehu Ilela, Director General, Announcer.
Harmony of biodiversity destroyed, birthing climate crisis and crime phases.
Dicey situation indeed, yet we carry on like a bull in a china shop.
On environment matters, we take the bull by the horns, comb the nooks and cranny of Nigeria.
Asking tough questions,
examining challenges and opportunities,
giving human face to the science, facts, faiths, and global agreements. It's a call for action. Don't miss it.
Join award-winning environmental journalist Jennifer Igwe and other NTA eco reporters for Environment Matters.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Preview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Welcome to Ipacot Network Center. Now moving on, as the 2023 general election draw closer, prominent states have called for increased awareness towards electing political office seekers with development blueprints.
Unlike the previous elections in Nigeria, the 2023 general elections appear very critical to various stakeholders. Here in Rivers State, why the political office seeker just to rule the electorate, concerned stakeholders are the errors that the populace should also weigh the options before them.
It goes beyond party. If the person does not have integrity, must not vote for him.
For this age leader, Atamono, human capital development should be given priority beyond fiscal infrastructure.
Developing the human first before the infrastructure, because the infrastructure we are talking about are meant to be used by people.
More public enlightenment proponents for good governance insist needed to properly guide the electorate to make the right choice of leadership in 2023. Key concern to us is manifesto and development blueprint running against voting along ethnic or religious sentiments in 2023. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amshiri, NTA News.
Efforts of the federal government to bring sustainable development to the grassroots seems to be stalled by activities of some political actors. This is a position of the leadership of Nigerian local government employees, Norge, who describe it as insensitive of some state governors towards the implementation of local government financial
are created to bring government closer to the people and enable society. In Nigeria, the local government reform of 1976 is expected to accelerate development and enable the local population participate and hold those in power accountable in an event of misappropriation funds. However, second facing presence of local government administration in Nigeria, as most state governors have refused to allow local governments have their financial autonomy.
If there is local government autonomy, I think this insecurity issue will not be there. If there is local government autonomy in existence, I think all this issue of poverty, all this issue of social vices will not be there.
As it stands now, local government find it difficult to do anything. It's a very pathetic situation. If you go to the local government councils, you will not believe that those are called government offices. You look as if federal government has not been sending money to the local government.
The local government system in Nigeria, according to stakeholders, is being marginalized by some state governments, evident in the implementation of the new minimum wage, where some state governors are yet to implement same for workers, among many other problems of local government administration. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
And that's our package from Port Harcourt. It's now back to you, Ayodeji.
Thanks so much from our Port Harcourt Network Center. Sincere apologies for the quality of some pictures from that center. Back here, let's tell you that the federal government is boosting efforts at making healthcare services available to Nigerians irrespective of social status. This has prompted the World Health Organization, the National Health Insurance Authority, to visit the Gariki Hospital, Abuja, to understudy its public-private partnership template. Serafina Okon-Umekwe reports.
The hospital for more than 15 years has been raising the bar when it comes to efficient and effective healthcare delivery services, with more than 2 million patients to its credit. The essence of this gathering with officials of the World Health Organization and the National Health Insurance Authority is to ascertain if its financing operational models are fully implemented at the hospital. The managing director of the hospital, Dr. Adamu On, says they are leveraging on the developmental trends of information communications technology, as they have never embarked on a strike, all with a view to provide excellent services 24 hours without any form of discrimination. He, however, decried the lack of operationalization standards by some HMOs, saying if the Nigerian healthcare system must be excellent, reforms, standardized style through consolidation should be implemented.
We get paid from the HMO. As always, there's some delays that occur from time to time, and there are some denied claims from time to time, but it's an ongoing issue that we discuss with them, we resolve. And the fact that we're still able to see patients shows that the model works, and we've had some successes with it.
Compulsory or automatic participation, and the other is the provision of subsidies, so that it's not right if people are forced to pay but they're too poor to pay, right?
The World Health Organization official Joseph Kutse says, despite the global economic inflation, the federal government must make conscious efforts to fund the Nigerian healthcare in the budget and have it implemented to enable the vulnerable populace have access to affordable healthcare. In Abuja, Serafina Okon-Umekwe, NTA News.
In a related development, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has commended the federal government for the upward review of the commensurate medical residency training fund examination and other fees by the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. This is coming at the end of a 5-day meeting of the National Executive Council of the Association in Lafia, Nasarawa State. Bilkesu Umar reports.
The 5-day meeting, which has a theme, Medical Workplace Hazards Defending a Nation Under a Shade of Arrows, deliberated on hazards that medical professionals undertake daily on the line of duty to save lives. In a communique after the meeting, the resident doctors commended state governments that have domesticated the Medical Residency Training Act, as it appeals to the federal government and other key players to mandate states that are yet to adopt the act to do so.
The NEC observed with dismay the unnecessary delay in the implementation and payment of the new hazard allowance for all health workers.
The association also frowned at the level in which patients' relations molest health workers, as well as arrears of salaries and allowances of its members in some states up to 10 months. Other issues raised in the communique include shortage of manpower in many health facilities, non-payment of agreed allowances by the federal and state governments, and the need to curtail brain drain, which is plaguing the nation like wildfire. Meanwhile, Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State assures the resident doctors that the state government will not leave anything to chance to ensure they are well motivated for quality service delivery. In Lafia, Bilkisu Umar Gurku, NTA News.
The Nigeria Communications Commission has organized a town hall meeting with customers in Ibadan, Oyo State, aimed at enhancing service delivery. Ifeoluwa Omosule was there and now reports.
The town hall meeting organized was an avenue to dialogue with representatives of some youth, women and men groups as they noted that roles telecommunication play in the socio-economic development of the nation are numerous, and challenges such as vandalization of the telecommunication equipment and disruption of telecommunication activities will affect service delivery negatively.
It is impossible for the security agencies to be at every site where you have telecom infrastructure. So we need the cooperation of members of the public.
It's just part of one of the things that we do to bring to the attention of our stakeholders the various thematic issues that we are having in the industry.
If we are not doing anything about the breaking into this equipment, we are going to be affected at the long run.
Remember the time the service providers came into existence. We spent a lot of money. When you want to get line, it's problem. When you want to buy handset, it's problem. But with the advent of the NCC, we are able to enjoy what we have.
The meeting, which is the third edition, afforded the network consumers the opportunity to lodge their complaints, and representatives of the network providers were available to attend to them. In Ibadan, Ifeoluwa Omosule, NTA News.
It's time to cross over to our Sokoto Network Center, and Nana Aisha will be our guide on Nationwide. Good evening, Nana Aisha. It's over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Ayo. The efforts of the Sokoto state government and other relevant stakeholders in education sector to improve school enrollment is recording success. To further strengthen the drive, instructional materials were distributed to schools under the basic education in the 23 local government areas of the state. Alhat Abdullahi has the report.
The negative indices in schools enrollment and the high number of out-of-school children compelled Sokoto state government to make basic education compulsory in the state. Started about 4 years ago, the MOPA program has 5,213 non-formal learning centers, 76 post-literacy skills acquisition centers with over 76,400 pupils, 1,777 volunteer teachers, proprietors and facilitators. These centers are under the Better Education Service Delivery for All project, BESDA, including intensive learning program initiated in 8 local government areas. In addition, there are 302 junior secondary schools and 2,092 primary schools with thousands of pupils and students. Flagging up the distribution of the instructional materials to the educational centers, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol said government had settled all its counterpart funds with UBEC and all other development partners. He added that government is paying attention to teachers' welfare and infrastructure.
I appeal to our education secretaries and education administrators to be very, very disciplined in the distribution of these materials and utilization of the materials.
Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education Bella Abubakar Gwiwa said the instructional materials were jointly provided by the state government, BESDA and UNICEF. Representative of the Sultan, Professor Sambo Ali Junaid, called for more funding of the education sector. The executive chairman of SUBEB, Altine Shehu Kajiji, extolled the commitment of the state government and the development partners towards reducing out-of-school children. The instructional materials include school uniforms, exercise and textbooks, schools registers, diaries, scheme of work, chalk, and desktop computers, among others. In Sokoto, Dalat Abdullahi, NTA News.
Zamfara state government is taking decisive steps towards addressing issues impeding the transition of girls from primary school to higher levels of education in the state. To this end, a 24-man committee has been inaugurated to work closely with relevant stakeholders for the actualization of the set goals. Jamil Ibrahim has more.
Zamfara is still among the states of the Federation with the lowest number of girls transition from primary to secondary schools and beyond. This informed a collaboration between Zamfara state government and the UNICEF to jam efforts in addressing the problem in view of its monumental negative impact on the socio-economic development of the state. The formation of a 24-man committee tagged Adolescent Girls Transition Champion with the practical step obviously taken towards the success of the collaboration. Executive Chairman Zamfara State Universal Basic Education Board Abubakar Ali Maradu, who inaugurated the committee, reiterated the state government's commitment to ensuring the success of the struggle.
And I'm happy from the competition. The type of people I see, I'm sure they are going to perform well. And we at the board will give them support and ensure that they work perfectly.
The event also provided a forum for discussion amongst the stakeholders on issues related to girl child education in the state, during which a number of recommendations were offered by the participants on how to address the prevailing challenges. Subcommittees are built to be inaugurated at the local government and community levels for maximum impact of the sensitization exercise. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Those are contributions from Sokoto here, where Nationwide continues with Ayodeji in Abuja after this commercial break. Thank you.
What are we doing as a nation to first of all settle our teeming populace, especially NTA's political package, with a third eye on the nation's political scene? I am Fisa Ogunku.
You have to be very careful giving space to people who are obviously sponsored to further the agenda of some other groups.
A lot of questions. A lot of questions in a closed door sessions. Some of these issues, some of the problems bedeviling of their. In fact, between June 1st and July 17, 19-point-something billion has left the coffers of the NDDC.
I can say my constituency, they need everything, because we don't have anything.
Every day in our country, senior citizens are discriminated against, disparaged, and treated with disdain by those who ought to respect them. We are all complicit in the way we have treated the elderly members of our society as institutions, families, or members of a shared society. Every time senior citizens get offered less than they deserve for the work they do because they are old, poor, and desperate, we are failing them. Senior citizen loses a child, and wow, they must be responsible for their death. Every time a senior citizen gets labeled a witch, is called mad, and shooed out of the way because they have no memory of where they were headed and look unkempt, we are failing them. We say, abeg, it all old, make it do die, make everybody for rest, to ailing parents, uncles and aunts. That's discrimination. That is neglect. When you see an old woman getting beat up and being accused of witchcraft, do not turn the other way. Stop and teach people that white hairs, wrinkles, and hunchbacks are no evidence of witchcraft. Aging comes with a memory decline. Sometimes it's not out of place to have elderly people lose their way, forget details of their lives, and how to properly take care of themselves. When they get to this stage, they deserve your empathy, not scorn. Our ailing fathers, mothers, aunties, and uncles are deserving of quality healthcare and peaceful transition. Make their last moments memorable. Senior citizens have paid their dues. They deserve your care. Stop all forms of discrimination against them today.
I'm fascinated with the discourse on national monuments and assets and how much is being done to preserve and
look into the language issue. We have turned English to become like a pride value in our own cultural values.
Not cash transfer. It's not a COVID-19.
Invasion 1897 was a deliberate
deliberate,
You know, many of these people coming to the urban areas now.
These and applications, there are terms and conditions.
Of course, it is the union of two people, a man and a woman coming together.
My name is Nambi Odiko.
And I'm Elizabeth Omori.
You're welcome back. The federal government is to engage all relevant stakeholders in the fight against hunger, joblessness and poverty in the country, with the ministers of agriculture and water resources saying women have significant roles to play in food production. Details with Musa Aliyu.
This is a conference put together by a non-governmental organization in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. It is all about agriculture, but the focus is on women's participation in food production value chain.
The objective of this conference is
Aisha Babangida, the daughter of the Nigeria's former military president, is among the key organizers of the conference.
We will make significant investments to unlock viable solutions to our agricultural sector by working strategically with intelligence and innovation.
Ministers of Agriculture and that of Water Resources said the federal government recognized the role women have been playing in the nation's food security project. They, however, identified some of the challenges confronting them, saying efforts to assist them is underway.
And with agri, you can achieve so much more than just food security. You can have energy security, job security, wealth creation, alleviation of poverty and security.
But at the end of the day, it's not just an intellectual conversation, but it will go down to the grassroots so that it can support our women, inform them, educate them about all the opportunities that are there around the world for people to really make a good life out of agriculture and food production.
Issues relating to planting, processing and marketing as they relate to women empowerment were discussed at the conference. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
Two non-governmental organizations are opening the economic windows of wealth creation through simple waste management and livestock production methods to women and girls across Nigeria by providing training in waste recycling and livestock production for self-reliance. Joseph Otsen interviewed some of the trainees in Gariki 2, Abuja, and now reports.
11-years-old Esther Oluwa Timilin and other women enthusiastic to hold on to the knowledge and skills on recycling waste materials into finished valuable goods and improving poultry feed use their handsets to record every step for keeps.
All these fabrics that are not useful again to them, you can gather them up and make this beautiful bottle that you can see, these beautiful pencils as you can see. Now you can ensure that your pencils, all your other stuff, you can also use it as a makeup purse. They teach us how to train the chicken less costly because we use things like aloe vera, bitter leaf. They grow all over the place. Moringa leaf to treat our chicken, our birds, and it prevents flu and all that.
Whoever is partaking in this training is also supporting the climate change movement. Now, the trainings we've brought here, some examples are converting tires, old and worn-out used tires, into either chairs or tables.
The empowerment program is put together by Dynamic Ladies Foundation in collaboration with Soul Agronomy's Training Foundation, targeting about 500 women and girls in each of the 36 states in Nigeria.
Every woman has the right to be self-sufficient and to have financial freedom.
Get people what they have learned. We empower them on little things for them to, produce in mass and sell to this trade first.
After weeks of training, each of these 50 beneficiaries from Garki Area Council is to be presented with a starter pack. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
As the rainy season progresses, there is fear in residential areas and farming communities in Jigawa State over the possible flooding that is already rearing ugly head, Muhammad Askira in Dulce examines the situation so far and measures put in place to mitigate the flood.
In the Nigerian Meteorological Agency's seasonal climate prediction report released in 2022, Jigawa State is predicted to experience shorter rainy season and possible flood. So far, that prediction is coming to reality. Several communities in parts of the state have been affected by heavy downpour and windstorm, leaving farmlands submerged and houses destroyed. Also affected are critical infrastructure as the water flood cut off a bridge linking Kano, Jigawa and other northeastern states on the Kano-Maiduguri highway.
Most of the people also are responsible for this flooding along the banks of the river, because you see people cutting part of the river so that when the water comes, it will just flush to their farms and the farm. And at the end of it, when the water is high, when the table of the water is high, the water flood the farms and houses and villages along the banks.
However, having learned its lesson from the past experience, Jigawa State government has been up and doing in ensuring that the impact of the flood is mitigated in all its ramifications. To ensure this is done, the state government is deploying financial resources it secured from the federal government's ecological fund for the execution of some projects aimed at addressing ecological challenges in the state.
And our own has accumulated to a certain level. I think that of the state was about 1 billion and that of the local government about 800 million, something like that. The governor has given a clear instruction to all the local governments now. Now they should make sure that all the gutters are desilted completely.
On their part, communities are mobilizing themselves for communal efforts to open up blocked waterways.
We will advise those building on water channels to avoid building on water channels. Drainages should be cleared. Refuse should not be dumped in the waterways.
In Dute, Muhammad Askira, NTA News.
Tramadol capsules worth more than 1,375,000,000 naira have been intercepted at the Apapa seaport in Lagos. The 1,650 kilograms of banned substance intercepted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency was packed in 55 cartons of tapentadol. Various psychoactive substances were also stopped from leaving the country for London and Dubai through the Lagos airport last week, and 5 suspects have been arrested in connection with the organized crime. Similarly, more than 186 kilograms of illicit substances have been cut off in FCT, Adamawa, Kebbi, Kwara and Kano states, with arrests of 58 suspects arrested believed to be drug dealers. Cannabis sativa, codeine, tramadol and diazepam formed part of the items recovered from the suspects. The national chairman of Jibwis, Sheikh Abdullahi Balalal, says prioritizing and investing in Quranic knowledge is key in building a morally upright and patriotic society. This was at the 3rd Quranic Memorization Graduation Walima of FCT Jibwis, Islamic Learning Center and School for Quranic Memorization in Abuja. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
It was a date with history and a moment of breakthrough for 35 young Quran memorizers, 26 females and 9 males, who were certified worthy of completing the memorization of the glorious Quran. In the presence of their parents, guardians and guests, the graduates were tested on the acts of recitation to the delight of judges and the audience.
If child has Quranic knowledge, he will guide him and they have more optimism and be more dedicated and organized.
The atmosphere created a feeling of fulfillment in line with Allah's injunction upon mankind to seek knowledge beneficial in this life and the hereafter.
This is our contribution toward ensuring peace, harmony, tranquility will continue to reign in Nigeria. This time around is the time whereby each and every one of us need this country, our country first.
Seek the knowledge of your Creator. When you have acquired the knowledge, you use it.
Overwhelmed with joy, the graduates say the knowledge acquired will inspire them to worship and fear Allah in their endeavors.
It's the best thing to have in this life.
Certificates and prizes were presented to the graduates for their exceptional courage. Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
And next is sports updates.
Confederation of African Football, CAF, has confirmed the postponement of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying double-header between Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau, billed to hold in September. According to CAF, the match will now hold in March 2023, following the shift in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations to January 2024. At the moment, Super Eagles lead Group A with 6 points from 2 matches, with Sierra Leone and Sao Tome making the other 2 teams in the group. Having qualified to the final round of the Championship of the African Nations, CHAN, beating Benin Republic 1-0 in the second leg of the preliminary round, coach of the Black Galaxies, Anna Walker, said the team will go all out against Nigeria to ensure they pick the ticket to the championship in Algeria. The Black Galaxies have yet to appear in the tournament since 2014, when Ghana finished second in South Africa. Still in football, All Stars International Football Club have successfully defended the title they won last year by winning this year's edition of the Abuja Veterans Invitational Tournament, beating Unity Sports Foundation 2-0 in the final.
It has brought peace, it has brought unity, and this is what we need in our nation, Nigeria. We are coming up as runners-up. That shows that we are progressing.
The tournament, played at the FIFA Goal Project pitch of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, also saw CKSP defeat Unity Veterans 4-2 on penalties to pick the 3rd place. And finally, to golf, 16-year-old Nigerian Iyenobong Essien has finished 2nd at the just concluded Champion of Champions World Golf Invitational held in Northern Ireland. The teenage sensation competed in the 16 to 19-year-old category, where she played on 2 challenging courses. With Sports Update, Cynthia Ogun, NTA News.
That's nationwide. We thank you for watching. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. Please remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. On behalf of the entire production crew, good evening.